So starting off, the Terraform Associate, just for an intro, Terraform is a declarative language. This is what cloud engineers use as templates to deploy their resources.
D.
Yeah.
Terraform is going to D.
All right.
And here's why. Yeah, even and we're specifically talking about cloud engineers. Cloud engineer is the centralized role to all cloud professional roles. But if you become a cloud engineer, you can pretty much navigate to any branch of the cloud tech industry. Once you become a cloud engineer, that's how central and important, vital the role is, and how vital the skills are. So just keep in perspective everything that I'm going to rank and give my feedback on is based on just that core source of, is this healthy for a cloud engineer who wants to elevate from their role to the next role, or those who want to even migrate to their first cloud engineer role. That's all I'm basing it out of. All right.
Okay.
So Terraform is a D because Terraform itself is used widely in most cloud engineer roles, especially when it comes to IEC stacks, that's infrastructure as code stacks. Learning HashiCorp is going to be great for your career, the skill itself, but nobody's looking for the certification. Like most people aren't looking for a Terraform certification. You either know how to build Terraform, build infrastructure using Terraform, or you don't. And they'll usually find it out by way of talking to you through the interviews. Like they'll see if you understand the difference between variables and I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but the whole Terraform stack when it comes to using building out infrastructure. They're going to ask you, are you familiar with YAML? It's mostly YAML and JSON. But yeah, that's why I put that at a D. Nope, and it's because nobody's looking for it. I don't want you to get a cert that people are looking for. You don't get certs really for the skills. You get certs for the credibility and to pass the HR test. And Terraform certification is going to be a D. The skills are A, but the certification itself is definitely a D.
All right. Next, we're gonna go to AWS CCP. So just a personal anecdote. This is my first cert I ever got. I think just like you, the first like tech experience I ever had was someone grabbed me and was like, "Hey, learn cloud, so I can give you a job." And this is the cert they put me on. Where would you like to rank that?
Which cert is that again?
AWS CCP. It's like the basic certs.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna put that at an A. That's an A.
Okay.
It's the OG cert,
Yep.
and that's the cert that put me on, man. And I'll be honest with you, I used to be a person that would tell folks, yeah, get the solutions art cert. No. Like now, my mind has changed on that because I've seen what's been working in trends in the industry and how people disguise their inability behind prestigious certs. The cloud practitioner cert is the fundamental cert that it'll get you into most cloud engineering roles. Like most organizations aren't looking for you to have most corporations are looking for you. Organizations looking for you to have at least a fundamental certification, fundamental cloud certification. The Azure, I believe it's a 500, Azure 900, and the this cloud AWS cloud practitioner cert is usually more than enough of what they're looking for to help get you in the door. So yeah, you after you get the cert, you need to purely focus on just doing projects, and that increases your skills. All right, you don't need to focus on trying to get any more certs until you grab your first role after you get this foundational certification, such as AWS cloud practitioner. So great for salespeople, great in cloud, great for DevOps, great for cloud engineering, great like across the board. Like this, jobs are still looking for this fundamental certification. So that's A in my book.
Okay, awesome. Speaking of solutions architect, that's the next cert we're looking at. It is a tier above CCP, but it's still not a professional cert. Where would you like to put that?
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to put it in the B tier. I only put the AWS Cloud Solutions Architect Associate Cert in the B tier because it's overhyped. It's overhyped as most newbies coming into the industry trying to become cloud professionals, cloud engineers, try to go for that cert because they feel like that cert alone is going to give them a job. Now, while it is a prestigious cert, all right, it is a cert that maintains and holds its value really well. It's a strong cert. You have to have strong cloud skills to pass. It's not an easy certification to just clear. Uh, but most importantly, you're not going to get a solutions architect role just because you have an SA cert and you don't have any cloud experience.
That's valid.
But it's the reason I keep it at a B as high as a B because once you do have that experience under your belt, about 3 to 4 years of cloud experience under your belt, you have this SA cert, man, the opportunities really open up for you, not just within the AWS space, but for organizations who utilize other cloud platforms that try to utilize multi-cloud. They will accept you having a solutions certifications. Cloud AWS Solutions Associate certification. So this one really is a strong cert when used appropriately. I even got mine when the year before they started making them expire, so mine actually never expires. A strong cert to have, not to go after, don't go after it as your first cert. Like those days are dead of those of people hiring people straight off the street to be a solutions architect. Like it's bozo wild. Even as I saw AWS having this free internship for solutions architects in different countries, and I literally commented on tweet like this is insane for anybody to take these. Like you're talking about positions that pay at least 85 an hour. You're gonna go do it for free in Dublin or South Africa, like for 6 months just for all these free trainings. So it's like no, like dude, it's working backwards. Anyway, so yeah, strong B for the solutions architect, especially for those who are cloud professionals who have at least 2 to 3 years of experience. That cert will do you wonders for a long time.
Okay, so next we have SysOps. It's on the same tier as solutions architect. It's an associate. We're like, who's this for, and like, where would this go?
I would put SysOps in the C category.
Okay.
And here's why. It is becoming a more popular certification, especially for organizations looking for a cloud administrator or a system administrator in a hybrid setup for an organization. Those are one of those certs where it's really a credibility cert. It gives you a lot of credibility. It's a cert, so it's very technical. It's less about it's less nuance about the salesmanship of cloud services and more about the technicalities of how to implement AWS on various technical systems that are on-prem and in the cloud. So the cert itself is actually from what I hear, I've never taken it myself, but from what I hear, it's a strong, like it's not a weak cert. You can't just easily clear it, but it's in demand specifically usually for administrative roles. So if you're looking to be a cloud administrator, a system administrator, or you are a system administrator, and you're dead set, I would say if you're a professional that's dead set on becoming like a Red Hat administrator or enterprise system, I mean, like if you want to strictly remain as a hands on the board technical SME when it comes to cloud systems, interacting with hybrid or on-prem, um, or cloud native systems, even GovTech, like if you want to like specialize, I would say get that system cert. That's if you care to, again, just if you want to, you see your career as being a long-term system admin guy or gal, and your eye eventually is on the Red Hat certification. Then yeah, get with the sysops. Other than that, nobody else is really like it's not going to get you. It's not really going to win you any points in DevOps or security or solutions architecting. Like it's a very technical certification. So that's why I put it in the C category as far as the range that it would project your career outside of being a cloud administrator.
Okay. You mentioned a couple of times Red Hat, so I got the RHCSA Administrator Red Hat cert. Where would you like to put that?
Oh man, that's gonna be an A.
All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be an A. The reason I put that at A is because that RHCSA is a beast. If you don't have any, like that's literally been the only certification aside from a CISSP that I've seen where you can end up being a lead, director, even a solution, maybe not a solutions architect, but like a senior level role at a cloud organization, and you don't have any cloud certs. But if you got that, I've seen it where they just have this Red Hat certification. Oh man, like that thing is a beast. You're basically it's credibility that you're well trained on Red Hat systems. Red Hat certifications, again, I've never taken it. This is all me studying it. Like I study the markets, I study the industry. Like it's my business to know the business, not only just in helping students, but also in interacting with B2B side of this industry. So I investigate a lot about these certs and I watch the movement and trends of them. Yeah, that that Red Hat cert is it hasn't lost its value at all. It has 10 years, dude. And so Linux is going to be around. Linux is over like 70 to 90% of systems across the globe.
Yep.
And Red Hat is that dog. So usually people who have that Red Hat certification are serious senior level engineers. And Linux servers sit all over the cloud. So yeah, that Red Hat is a top dog. It pays really well. It really helps you get seen more at I want to say almost C-level suite executive level, like right beneath it in the director lead management type of role area. So yeah, it's really for those who are wanting to be a big dog again technical. So if you already started with your sysops and you want to become a system guy or gal, and you want to make it all the way to the top with that one day, then eventually you do want to get that Red Hat. But other than that, if you don't have any enterprise level leadership ambition, I wouldn't get the Red Hat. But if you do eventually want to be a top dog in any type of system, computer system, get that Red Hat. But yeah, that's why it's a strong A.
All right. Speaking of big dogs, we got the big dog AWS cert, Solutions Architect Professional. Now, my friend just studied for it. He's really good at what he does, and it still took him 11 months to get it. So, where'd you like to rank this?
This is a tough one. I'm going to give it. I got to give it a B. Here's why. Here's why I got to give it a B. So that is, I've heard that's actually the hardest. The hardest, if not second hardest, cloud certification out there in the entire market. All right. And it's been hard for a long time. So I put it in the B category because it's so niche that the demand is so hard to obtain. Because you have to have all these years of experience. First off, you can't get it without having a solutions architect. So you have to already have cleared a few certs before you even get to that. You can't just walk in the door fresh, learn AWS, and think you're gonna get a professional cert. No, they're not even gonna allow you to take the cert. So you have to have years of training, like senior level years of training to get this cert. It is a tough, but because of that, it's such a small market for it. So that's the only reason I put it in the B category. Unlike Red Hat and a solution as associate, there's a vast market demand for it, like lots of jobs asked for it. With the professional cert, not that many jobs asked for it, but the ones that do, you get paid. That is a payday cert. You are a minimum making at least 180 walking in the door somewhere, and that's just for having the certification. You'll literally just get called to be on calls or to be a part of pitch decks or what have you, just because you had that professional certification. There's GovTech roles that won't even look at you, not even just because you don't have a clearance, but because you don't have the specific cert. Like this cert is, if you have it, it is a one hit wonder of a cert to have. Like you literally will be the only candidate of a very few who's getting applying for jobs and will likely be interviewed, will likely get hired just for having that cert, no matter how incompetent it might really be. But that cert is a beast, and most people who have that cert are very, very competent. Like these are really smart women and men who have this cert. So very strong cert. It's just the demand for it is the market of demand for it in the market isn't that prominent. You become niched out. But you can make if you want, especially if you want to do contracting as an essay, or you want to do essay at enterprise for a Fortune 500 company. That right there that's a slingshot win of a cert. So
All
just
right.
let me know what I'm talking
Now we're switching to Azure, which is my favorite cloud. I work in this cloud every day. So we got the AZ-104, and just for some background, when I was trying to be a cloud engineer, I work in security now. I was
to.
told to go for the AZ-104, and people told me it was hard, but you had to learn it if you wanted to become a cloud engineer and sysadmin. It took me 6 months to study for it, and I failed it 3 times. I finally got it, but I don't use it anymore. Where would you like to put this one?
That's going to be a strong A.
Okay.
That one is that 104 because that's the I is that's not the IM. That's the I
It's
think it's
equivalent to
104.
solutions or sysops on the AWS side. It's a administrator cert.
Administrator. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. All right, yeah, Azure administrator certification. Yeah, that's a strong cert. So the reason I put that above the an A category is because there is a strong demand for the 104 certification. It's consistently sought after. That's almost equivalent to actually like a even though it's not even though Azure does have their own version, but this one is equivalent to the AWS SA associate as far as the value that people that employers see when they see candidates have the cert because it is a strong cert and it is a tough cert. It's not an easy cert. I've had many students fail it multiple times, and I know because sometimes I've been paid for it more. So it's not a walk in the park cert. I've started it quite a few times, but I always get delayed or just distracted because something else pops up on my to-do list. So I never got around to taking an actual exam, but I did study for it. It's tough, but it'll make you so well versed in Azure. You'll be really good at understanding artifacts. You'll be really good at understanding resource groups, VM types, etc. So it'll help actually the training alone will actually help make you a really help you with your understanding of Azure when it comes to engineering into Azure as a cloud engineer, cloud administrator. And I would say actually Microsoft did a really good job with their training module on this by making it's just really expansive and good. Again, the demand for it is always high. It's one of those certs where I haven't seen too many employers require a certain higher level than the 104 because it's just really that good. Like it's because it embodies so much of Azure into this one certification. And not everybody, like most people, don't clear it. It's not an easy cert to clear. But it'll make you stud. So yeah, I put that in the A category.
Awesome. Next, we got the Azure Security Engineer. It's on the same level as the administrator. It is an associate cert, but it's more security focused. It teaches NSG and
Yeah,
more firewall
yeah,
rules.
yeah. I say I put that in the B category. Actually, see, I want to put it in the C category. I got to put it. I'm sorry. So is there a demand for it? Yes. There a lot of government roles ask for it, but that's just about it. It's not a high demand for the certification itself, and that's because honestly, the Azure, what I say earlier, the Azure fundamental cert and the 104 exists. Those two, I've seen consistently be asked for, and then even the 500 cert as well be asked for over the security engineer cert itself. And which is interesting, especially the 500. I've seen that get asked for way more than the security engineer cert. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much really it. It's interesting because with the 104 and with the 500, if you take those combined, I believe it makes you a cybersecurity architect, or you can at least qualify for the Azure cybersecurity architect certification to take that and clear that. But
Yep.
those two, the 500, it's like 3 certs. If you pick 2 of them and get them, they'll make you a Azure cybersecurity art. But it's not. Again, security, you would think they're going along the path of security engineer, but no. Yeah, it's not. This is not a strong cert. It's good to have if you want to get it. There, like I said, some gov jobs that do ask for it, but your options are much better, and the demand is much higher for the 104 for your fundamentals and even for the AZ 500. So,
And I'm gonna just interject real quick. So I work in
yeah.
security, I work in Azure a lot. So this cert is important to me, but I still don't have it. And the reason is there is better training out there. There's a company called Pwn Labs, which all they do is focused on security for every single cloud. And they have a cert
Oh,
called MCRTP, Microsoft Certified Red Team Professional, and
oh
it's
yeah,
just levels above anything like a vendor could have because they show how to live
yeah.
hack a cert, a cloud environment, and how to defend it. So I'd recommend that for anyone that's looking for some sort of cloud security. And
And that's all. That's the thing about security certs is, especially cybersecurity certs, the third party vendor neutral certs, especially cybersecurity, are much better often than any of the cloud security certs, in my opinion. So they just hold so much value. There's another one. Rubric has one that's really valuable, security cert. And there's quite a few. But yeah, you're right. So I'm glad you brought that up.
So a vendor neutral cloud security cert is the CCSP. So for how hard it is, I've heard it's on the same level as the CISSP itself. It has the same requirements. You need 4 years of experience. It's as expensive as the
Mm-hmm.
CISSP, but nobody talks about it because it's not the CISSP. Where do you
Right.
want to
So
put that?
that's why that's going to be a B. Yeah. Because it's not as popular as the CISSP. If it was as popular as the CISSP, I'll put it in the S category. But very strong cert, really good to have. You're going to clear a lot of government roles with that. You'll clear a lot of private roles. Like you show up at the door with the CCS SP, like they're pretty much going to be like you're pretty much almost going to be a shoe in for most security engineer roles, cloud security engineer roles. Especially on the compliance side, they would love you. But yeah, like it's expensive cert. It's valuable. IC squared only has like two valuable certs, and these that one is a this one is a very strong cert. So yeah, if you got this, you're well on your way to getting that CISSP. But yeah, this is a good cert to have. I was putting it in BK. The only reason it's in B again is just because it's not as popular. Since it's not as popular, it's not as in demand when it comes to. You're not gonna see as many job boards asking for it as they ask for. You'll see even some ask for other third party security certifications sometimes before they ask for a CCSP. But yeah.
And that makes sense because most of the times companies are, single cloud and they really need someone with that niche knowledge. Next up is AZ900. This is the basic Azure cert. It's on the same level as AWS CCP.
Yeah, I put that as a strong A. Those two go hand in hand. As I spoke about cloud practitioners, the same about Azure fundamentals. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. I see it at junior level roles, entry level roles. I see it at senior level roles. It's an introduction to Azure cloud. It's a good certification. It's a great certification to have because again, it's usually it's usually enough to get you qualified for role. Like for instance, I like now I've done nearly a decade of more of Azure. I remember when Azure first came out, but uh, I'll get solutions architect roles and I've had solutions architect roles as an the Azure SME. And the only requirement was that I had the Azure fundamental certification, but on top of the experience, like they wanted me to have the SA experience, but the only certification was the Azure. It's like most companies don't even know Azure has a solutions architect certification, right? But the Azure fundamentals certification is marketed so well that it continues to show up on jobs that are well beyond entry level. So yeah, that's an A cert for me.
Honestly, I think you brought up marketing, and that plays a huge role into like
Yes,
how
it
many
does.
people have these certs and stuff. So like to see something like RHCSA, Easy
Yeah,
104 that I don't think they're actively trying to market, but still have
yeah.
an A is interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, well, the red hats are only it's the people who pass and clear like the real I'm not gonna say geeks, but the real the people who are just really headstrong on the technicalities of the industry, who are just really into the nuance of the science of the industry. They promote that red hat. That's why it's so popular. Like red hat itself doesn't market it that much, but the people who have it market it so much because they talk about it and they just uphold it so that it's more social thing than it is the organization, the vendor itself pushing it. And again with AZ 104, it's just it's just been marketed better than all of them.
all right, next up, I was stalking your LinkedIn a bit, so I saw the
Oh,
Latinos the coaching center.
hilarious!
So
Oh yeah,
where
yeah,
do you
yeah.
want to rank this one?
Yeah, man, we're gonna give that a C.
Oh,
We're gonna get my life coaching certification a C.
oh,
I got this certification for Orange County's Life Coaching Institute, and it was a terrible class, but the people in the class were great. I
okay.
learned a lot of life skills and a lot of like just because it was teaching you essentially how to run your own coaching consulting company.
Mm.
And that's why I tell students all the time: what you've done when you're transitioning into tech, and especially in the cloud tech, don't forget your career that you had prior to because you'll be surprised what skills and experiences translate over to your tech career. So I never knew that consulting that I was doing for personal development would lead to me being able to do very well in creating revenue and business opportunities in tech, doing consulting as an SA, using those consulting skills, those soft skills. So yeah, that's why it's a C. But other than that, it was completely trash, man. I remember I skipped for like a week for this. I invested in this.
No.
Oh man, that was one of them searches where I was just trying to figure out my life, man. Yeah.
All right. So the most recent cert that you seem to have is NVIDIA Certified Associate
Oh
for
yeah.
AI Infrastructure Operations.
Yeah. Man, right now I'm going to give it a B. I'm only going to give it a B as
Oh,
a boy.
is it B?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, B as a boy. I'm only going to give it a B right now because the only thing keeping it a B is because it's NVIDIA. It's like they're like the standard when it comes to AI infrastructure right now. But other than that, I haven't seen many jobs ask for it.
What did
Um,
you actually learn in
but
it? Because I haven't even looked at it.
I went straight to the website. I was looking for my next cert to take on that wasn't a cloud, that was cloud agnostic, and that was geared towards AI. And I want to do senior level AI infrastructure and stuff. So this was the one that came across, piqued my interest, and said, I can maybe do something with this. Let me see what it does. Now, I have started to get recruiters reaching out to me specifically for AI roles. So I'm kind of testing it to see what it does on its own. The credibility of it, the name NVIDIA, is reputable enough so far. Like I'm seeing it across the trending along the positive side of like it's a respectable certification to have any as far as NVIDIA branding behind it all. The cert itself is actually a cert that I forgot who the guy was who I learned from on Udemy. Kudos to him for his training. He has created like the best training for it, training program of course for it. But like you can literally learn it if you have minimum like even help desk level experience. That's how much he not diluted, but that's how much he made the training relatable.
Mm,
Because all of it, AI is the entire thing is so nuanced and specific. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna understand all of it because you did help desk.
mm,
It's just meaning like you can understand, he can communicate, he communicated it to you. So if, as if you work help desk, you're like, oh, okay, I can understand that. But I mean, this stuff is still advanced because essentially all it is it's running compute on graphics servers.
mm.
So and these graphic servers have all of these. It actually, the training itself helps you understand, realize just how interesting and how really dope these Marvel these Nvidia chips are. Like how innovative they were. It started off as a eureka because
Mm.
I've always thought like, well, okay, why don't people use graphic chips as CPU? Because I mean, we use it for video games, so
Yeah.
it's gonna give us the most power. But the way that Nvidia broke down the cores, like
Mm.
being able to fit 60 to 81 cores on a one chip is crazy. And then they had to consider so much as far as the heating and cooling, airflow of it all, and then the busing for to deal with memory and I/O output. Like it teaches you really how these chips are built and how they work, how they function in any kind of environment, on-premise environment, data center environment, cloud environment, and then how to make the best decision for different type of AI workloads to run off of different type of GPUs. So that's what the training and the cert is about, and helping you scale up in that area. So it's actually pretty good. I'm interested to see what it does though.
Mm.
So I'm gonna put it in B because it's pending, but the name validity is definitely there. Like I get a lot of respect when people see that I have that NVIDIA certification.
I'm sure.
So
I have a
yeah,
similar experience. I ended up doing AI 900, which is Azure's very basic AI fundamentals course, and I know AWS also has it. But when I was doing it, again, I had like no interest in becoming a ML ops infra engineer or
right.
anything. But it really blew my mind. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
there's ChatGPT, and I mean, I did this in 2024. There's like that AI, but then
yeah,
self-hosting it, being able to build the entire thing, like I think that was crazy to me. And
yeah,
I don't use it, but it just opened up the possibilities of a lot of things. So I recommend anyone to go take those certs. Just like even if it's very basic, right? Learning about
yeah. No,
AI,
I'm with you.
the name says itself. Like you should learn
Yeah, yeah.
something.
I think it. Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up in the ML library aspect of it, LLMs. But it's when you learn about the hardware and the infrastructure that's supporting it all, and it's so freaking nuanced, and it's like, whoa, okay, I see why it's a beast.
Yeah.
I see why it's an animal. Then you also see why, damn, this is expensive. But yeah, so that's cool.
So
And
next we got.
congratulations.
I appreciate it. Next, we got GCP, which out of the three clouds, is the least popular, but it has very specific use cases, and a lot of companies do use it. And this is
What's
the
GCP?
cloud certified.
I'm gonna pretend that this is the GCP Solutions Art certification. Okay, um, professional certificate. The Solutions Art only comes in professional in Google Cloud. In fact, you don't have to have any previous cloud certification to take any of their professional certification. This is gonna be an S. I'm gonna put this in the S category. Yeah. Number one, Google Cloud's Solutions Architect professional certification is the highest paying certification out there. Like you get that cert, and listen, you are in the 200 committee. That is your baseline as that cert. That cert is a beast. If anybody has a cloud platform, any customer or client or organization has a cloud platform that's run on Google Cloud, you come show up with that cert, you're automatically going to look at it as the suite. It's one of those rare certs where people are going to really respect your expertise with a cloud certification walking through the door. Short aside from that AWS professional cert, this one right here will do for Google Cloud. Like you walk in with this one, it's jobs that literally won't look at you unless you have that certification. You will only get that job if you have the certification. You cannot know how to run a Linux command, to not know how to run a PowerShell command or anything. Can't deploy Terraform. But if you know you have this cert right here, and it's not easy. Again, this is not easy. I'm actually studying for the cert right now. It's not an easy cert to take. I failed it twice already.
You don't get it.
So I'm a glutton for punishment. It's a beast, man. It's one of those things, man, where again, it's the highest paying cloud certification. It will make you a monster. And Google Cloud is always in demand. Like you're not going to see a lot of jobs looking for it, but you're going to always see a job looking for
Mm,
a person with this certification. And there's people out there who run businesses, and that's another thing I want to kind of caveat add to this whole conversation. You can get paid for these, especially once you get to the solutions art certification level and above. When it comes to these certifications, you will get paid just to be a consultant for just having your cert on various things, various calls that don't require you to troubleshoot or solve a problem. Like just to have you on the call saying, "Hey, we represent this organization. This is such and such is on our team. He has a cert that she has a cert that this solutions art cert that," and they move on the conversation. You're going to get compensated for that hour time or 30-minute block that you're on that call just because you're credentialed. That's how powerful these solutions art certs are, and that's essentially, especially how powerful. I saw somebody say they wanted if I had that, they were looking. They ended up going to a coworker of mine who had it because when I worked at this one corporation, this one company, everybody on my team had the cert button. But everybody I still keep in contact with on that team because that was like the best team I ever worked with. Shout out to Scott. But there was one of the guys on the team. There was a guy that he was wanted to pay $400 for 30 minutes of a person's time who had that GCP solutions art cert. Yeah, and I reached out to one of the guys on the team to go ahead and take on that offer. But that's how that works, just for having that cert. And I've gotten calls like that as well. I've had to sit in on government calls. This is when I was just freelancing, and because I had to absorb fundamental certification, they paid me like $200 for 30 minutes of my time just to sit on the call. So these certs, they pay, man. They can pay. They pay off well. But yeah, I'm sorry. So I sound like to say that if you get the Google Solutions Architect professional certification, you're a top dog. Any Google Cloud cert, not the Google cybersecurity, the Google support, IT help desk, none of them goofy certs. Some of the Google, if it says Google Cloud
Yep.
and anything after that, that is a cert that's gonna get you paid. But especially this Solutions Architect professional cert is the top dog out there. So
I just want to know real quick, like how rare it is to actually make money off of a cert, because most of the time, IT security, just anyone that's like hired to like maintain a system or build a system, they're not necessarily making money for the company. The product is. They're more of a cost center. So if you're getting to a skill level where just your presence demands money, that's you're flipping the
mm-hmm.
table.
Yeah. So I remember prior to being working in cloud tech, as I mentioned before, I had a whole career. I mean, even prior to being a bouncer, but like that's why I say your prior career skills can transfer over to cloud tech. Being able to be a hustler, being able to search for opportunities, and working in the consulting space. Um, there's people out there who are looking for these are recruitment firms, these are different organizations, companies. They're trying to qualify for grants, they're trying to qualify for funding, they're trying to qualify for contracts, and a part of obtaining that, they have to make their resume or their bid look as attractive as possible to the agency that they're trying to receive money from. And one way of doing that is credentials. And if you, especially in tech and in cloud tech, when your organization you have a lot of credentialed members on your team, that helps give you an advantage on the agency feeling comfortable to award you contracts. So they'll call you up and just pay you for your time to lend your credibility to their organization during this call for that time period, and they'll pay you compensation for it. After the call is done, they'll either sell you the money or however you negotiated to receive the money, but you will get that check. You will get paid just for being a credentialed person, especially as a solutions architect above cloud credentialed person. So those opportunities are always out there. Yeah.
That's a really good point because a couple of previous companies, I was getting paid 2K per Azure Cloud Cert
Yeah.
just because those
Yeah.
bids were so attractive and they just needed people certed up so they could go get it. So there's a real demand in specific certs. Next is the Cloud Plus. This is from CompTIA. This is vendor agnostic.
Yeah, that's going to be a D, absolute D. I wish I could put it at F, but yeah. So nobody's looking for a Cloud Plus CompTIA certification. I get the vendor agnostic thing. That really only truly pans well for organizations when you're talking about security, because they hire and buy third party security software all the time. But when it comes to this cloud stuff, nah, they want you. The big boys are proven. AWS is proven to work. Azure's proven to work. Google Cloud's proven to work. And Oracle's up and coming. And I heard NVIDIA's trying to work on some stuff too. But we'll see. I think they just backed off of it. But anyway, those cloud when you're a vendor cloud certification will always take precedence over a non-vendor cloud certification. Again, CompTIA already has a shaky reputation outside of the Security Plus. The pen test is still good. Like, it has a couple of certs that are really still good. I even recommend the Net Plus, but most of the CompTIA packages are trash. And that includes this Cloud Plus cert. I see people get this off. People have to wonder, it's getting the Cloud Plus, the CompTIA Cloud Plus certs gets offered to you in bundles for free for a reason. Okay, because nobody's looking for it. It's terrible. It's trash.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn any real cloud skills. No, it's not going to help you in cloud. Like your time, I'm all about making your time most efficiently used. So you're going to definitely, I'd rather you go after search that's going to get you paid and it's going to help train you up to lead you towards the type of skills that you want. So Cloud Plus, CompTIA Cloud Plus is not doing that at all. And I hope one day that they stop CompTIA from making certifications aside from Security Plus and even Security Plus is. Don't get me started on CompTIA.
Yeah.
I don't care what Steve Harvey says. Stay away from the CompTIA. Yeah, stay away from Cloud Plus. Absolutely.
So next we got CKA, and just to preface, there's 5 certs. There's a lot more. There are also KCNA, which is a cloud version of the CKA.
Yeah. Kubernetes, yeah.
This is practical, and for there's CK80 and CKSO. Where would you like to put this?
All right, so I'm going to put this in the. I'm going to put it in the A category. A. The only reason I put it in the S category is because Kubernetes itself, Kubernetes needs themselves. It doesn't consistently pay as high as Google Cloud SAs get paid. Like it's not that consistent, 200 plus. But you can still make a heck of a career with being a Kubernetes suite for a long time. Kubernetes has been around, is going to continue to be around. In fact, it's going to be around even longer now that AI is around. AI containers rely on Kubernetes orchestration. So anybody walking through the door with a Kubernetes certification is usually really good. They're really good usually at DevOps especially, and they're very good usually with containerization. Um, in fact, there's organizations that must hire you if you have that certification because there's not a lot of people out there with a Kubernetes certification. You'll get a lot of jobs. I believe if you're smart and treating it like a hustler, I would get a Kubernetes certification, and all I would do is work multiple contracts. That's all I would do for the rest of my life. And you'll be a well paid man or woman. Just work multiple contracts through your C to C business. That's all you would have to like. I was like, so yeah, you'll be a beast. I remember I did one interview one time. This one guy was telling me for a bank, and it was a good paying job at the time. Um, they were telling me I was like, yeah, man, I would hire you, but the only thing stopping me from hiring you is that you don't have your Kubernetes certification. He's like, that's the only if you had that, walking through the door right now, I hire you, but you don't have it. So I was like, dang, you know, so that Kubernetes cert, any one of those certs are really really good. Some are stronger than others, of course, but any Kubernetes certification is really good. You're gonna get paid for a long time. You're not gonna. It's not one of those certs that's you're gonna make a high dollar amount on. That's relative, of course, but you're not gonna make a high dollar on your one contract or one job. Like you're not gonna be a 200,000 plus professional on it off of just one job, but you're going to consistently make most more money than most people. And if you do contracts, you can definitely make yourself a baller. But those guys are usually really smart who have those certifications. I forgot her name. There's a chick I think she's either from I never forget her. I think her name is Anna something, but she's from I think she's from Greece
Hmm.
or somewhere over there near the Mesopotamia area. Anyway, she does all these Kubernetes videos on YouTube for free. She has her own course, of course, on Exam Pro and stuff like that. But shout out to Sean Brown. But she I forgot her name, but she's a beast, man. She's like her and I forget. I should know these guys' name and women name by heart. I follow their work so much. But the guy who teaches AWS solutions architect,
Stefan
his
Marek.
last name is Stefan Marik. Yeah, she's the female equivalent to him, but when it comes to Kubernetes, like she's a beast. So yeah, Kubernetes. There you go.
Yeah,
Get you paid.
I'm gonna have to agree like with the rating just because at this point in like the tech timeline, you need to know Linux, you need to know
Yep.
CK or Kubernetes in general. The
Yep.
specific cert itself doesn't matter, but those are so fundamental to how everything's built nowadays. And lastly,
For
we have
sure.
OCI. You put a special request to get this in.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm gonna put it at B to be, and it's only because it's to be determined how the market's gonna shake up because the OCI is a lot of organizations do have it on their sprint this year to start migrating workloads onto their Oracle cloud environments or integrating Oracle cloud into their work environments. So and I have been seeing quite a few jobs that are asking for the OCI certification. So it's growing. They did a great job of giving this cert away for free
yeah,
last year
love
at
it.
the end of last year. Yeah, and it's just because they want to get it out there. AWS did the same thing when theirs first came out. They just want to try to
Mm,
get as many hands on as possible, especially being that Oracle was um,
data centers.
buying up so many data centers last year, and they're going to be they position themselves to try to be a huge player with AI. So and then go again even with Larry Ellison taking on TikTok, who knows what he's going to do. So
Yep.
it's a it's one of those searches that's promising. Um, I was supposed to take it, man, and my butt procrastinated and missed the timeline. Oh man, I took it and everything. I scheduled it and everything, and I was supposed to take the exam, and dang, and I showed up like 30 minutes late,
Oh,
something like that, thinking it was not paying attention to the time. But I say all that to say the cert training for OCI isn't like it's not a hard
mm,
thing to learn when it comes to Oracle Cloud, and it's only because it's still in its infancy, hasn't got all nuanced yet and evolved. People haven't really broken or penetrated Oracle Cloud yet, but yeah, so yeah, it's again, it's still in demand. Not, well, it's growing in demand. You can make pretty good money doing it so far. And when I say pretty good money, I'm talking about usually like you can get you can get between 120 to 184 with that OCI certification. Um, especially if it's an essay role. But yeah, that it's yet to be determined. I'm interested to see if are they going to be roll these out. Is it going to be solutions architects that's mostly going to possess these Oracle Cloud roles, or if they're going to relinquish it to the cloud engineers?
mm,
And it's only going to be mainly because our organization is going to build natively straight out of Oracle Cloud, or are they just going to continue to? Is it going to be an integrated
mm.
multi-cloud? So we're going to see. That's going to kind of determine where it goes with it. But yeah, that'll be my ranking for it. I'll give it a strong view right now.
Okay, I mean, all right. So for the final tier list, I'm pretty surprised. I don't know too much about cloud, so honestly, I really like that. Google's up there. There's OCI in here. You put the fundamentals. If anyone else has like any more suggestions on like what certs they want to see, let me know because there are more than 100 certs. We
Yeah,
just put the most popular ones in there. Um,
yeah. If you are serious about making a commitment to becoming a cloud engineer or a cloud tech professional. I have all type of resources that can help you at every level for free, all the way up to my premier boot camp that I host only once a year. I'm actually hosting my boot camp right now where I train when I train professionals who want to transition into cloud engineering careers within 5 weeks. That's currently in session. We only do this once a year, and then we do a second one for teenagers over the summer. So if you got teenagers that's interested in becoming training for cloud tech skills, getting ahead of their college training, or doing it in the summer of their college training or what have you, we have a great program for that. I have actually one of my success stories was a 19-year-old was sent to me. Her mom she didn't go to college, but she wanted to get into tech, and she came to me. She trained in 5 weeks. We did 5 weeks. She built out real cloud infrastructure because we built everything. Built entire boot camp is simulated to what you're going to experience in the field as a cloud engineer. I also train you how to think like an architect, even though you're building as an engineer. Anyway, she graduated. I would say about a month after she graduated from camp. She got her solutions architect certification, and she started got her first tech job a couple months later.
I
She
got a
actually had
question real
two
quick.
tech job
Sorry.
offers. Yeah, yeah,
So one of my friends' question was, how do you
yeah,
get a job without experience? I know it's a really hard
yeah,
question to answer,
yeah.
but how did she get a job without any tech
So,
experience?
and I speak to this all the time, and and people, I guess, don't believe me or don't believe professionals who say it, but you got to do your projects. That's what the projects are for. The projects is your way of hacking experience onto your resume so that it makes your resume more attractive for recruiters and hiring managers to seek out your talent. All right. And you have to also post about your projects, what you're doing on your LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn is like the number one professional center for all professionals, especially in cloud tech. Like, that's where the money's being made at as far as being able to hire you, find your talent. One of many, of course, GitHub and things like that, and Tech Nation, but LinkedIn is where you want to post about your project. Don't just post when your project's done. Like nobody cares that you showed up, Mr. Hotshot, the whole project's finished. You built the whole URL program from scratch. It's only have all these fancy back ends, and it's all just done. Like no, just talk about the process of talk about your project as you're building the project on your LinkedIn because everybody loves a story. All right, everybody loves a story, and that's the way you get to build. Not only you're not building to be an influencer, but you're building yourself to be embedded in the algorithms of tech recruiters who are looking for cloud professionals with certain skills. And by you talking about your project repeatedly, etc., it's going to those skills will eventually show up on their timeline, and they'll reach out to you with job opportunities. So that's how you get it, and that's how she got her tech offers with no degree, with no experience. No college debt, anything like that. I'm not against college, but I'm for taking the most assured route towards the type of careers that you want. So with minimum debt as possible. So, but yeah, that's the advice that I always give, and that's the advice I would give to your friends. Like, do your projects. And then people are like, well, how do I find them? You can find Google is free, ChatGPT is free, YouTube is still free. Like that's the thing. People say it's the how, what the quality of the question will always often determine your determination to solve your problem.
Mm.
All right. So if you ask quality questions, you're going to get quality answers to help you solve the problem. But the lesser the quality of the question is, the lesser the quality it is that solve your real problem. So you'll be asking questions after question after question because you're not really digging in deep to get to seek out the type of answers you need. So you're not even going to know the type of questions you should really be asking because you're not trying to do the work on your own, figure things out. So that's the advice.
That's awesome advice. All right.
Yep.
Thank you for joining.
Oh, you said shout outs.
Yes.
You said, oh yeah, where to find me? Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to say, yeah, if you're dead serious about making the transition, just reach out to me and use one of my products, or don't use my products. I share content and stuff from other creators. I'm not about me getting out. I've been getting money for a minute, and I'm gonna continue to get money. I'm cool. I'm not trying to get rich off selling you my $9 boot camp. Trust me. All right, I'll sell you my $3,000 boot camp. Trust me, I'm paid already. I'm good. But I share content and resources from other places as well. I even have a free group, Facebook group for those who are wanting to get in the content. So it's like, so I say to say, so if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter, I'm on IG, I'm on TikTok even. Cloud Tech Big On. I literally post content every day. It's mostly, especially in my IG stories, but I post content every day, especially in my IG stories and on Twitter and on Facebook and on like most of your socials. I'm everywhere but Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Snapchat a little bit, but I ain't going to Snapchat. Yeah, and just becloudengineers.live is where that's B is in boy, cloudengineers.live, LIVE. And that'll show you all the resources I have available for you to be able to, yeah, well, dot live. I have .com too, but that's .com is more mainly for my B2B stuff, but dot live, yeah, this is like my link tree essentially where you can just find out like my YouTubes and
That's the girl you're talking about.
yeah. I have my Tech at Night channel where once a month I do Tech at Night live. I smoke cigars and we drink liquor and talk about tech stuff. And
I kind of want Tesma's great.
everything's there.